We always start the bad before the good and go over the sits before the starts. The first wide receiver I'm going to tell you to sit in week 1 is going to be DJ Moore. Moore is set to play the Cleveland Browns at home, who gave it the 5th fewest passing yards in 2021. This will undoubtedly be an emotional game due to the Baker Mayfield drama, as both sides will be looking to play their hardest. I see DJ Moore being completely locked up with not much breathing room. Look to sit Moore if you have better options at the wide receiver position for week 1. Now, the next wide receiver we're going to talk about is DK Metcalf. Metcalf will be on prime time at home against the Denver Broncos, who gave up the 8th fewest passing yards in 2021. With Russell Wilson no longer being the quarterback for the Seahawks, look for the team to struggle through the air in what should be an extremely frustrating game, not only for Metcalf, but for the fantasy owners who chose to start him in week 1. Now, the next wide receiver I'm going to tell you to sit is Amari Cooper. Cooper is on the other side of this drama-filled matchup, as he will be on the road against the Carolina Panthers, who gave up the 4th fewest passing yards per game in 2021. With the lack of receiving options in Cleveland, look for the focus to be shifted to Cooper as they see if another receiver on this team can actually beat them. Also, if you add in that there's going to be no Deshaun Watson for the first quite a few weeks of the season, it makes this matchup even less appealing. I don't like any of the receiving options on either side in this defensive secondary matchup in week 1. Now we're on to the good, and let's talk about the starts. The first wide receiver we have to talk about is Garrett Wilson. Some saw Wilson as the top wide receiver prospect in this year's draft, and in week 1, he will have a great opportunity to show what he's made of. He is playing at home against the team who gave up the most passing yards per game in 2021. By the looks of this matchup, the Jets should be playing from behind early and often, which means they will look to air this ball out most of the game. Wilson should see plenty of targets and put up a solid stat line in his first ever regular season game. Start Wilson with confidence in week 1. Now we're on to the next wide receiver in week 1 with Chase Claypool. Claypool will be away at the Cincinnati Bengals, who gave up the 7th most passing yards in 2021. I believe that Claypool has something to prove this season, and the big body wide receiver should be in some situations where he could be a red zone threat. The Steelers should be playing from behind this matchup, so we should see a negative game script and see the ball in the air quite a bit. Start Claypool with confidence in week 1. Our next wide receiver to start in week 1 is CeeDee Lamb. Lamb will be at home against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, who gave it the 12th most passing yards in 2021. In the first Sunday night football game of the season, we will see the new number 1 wide receiver for the Cowboys shine. The main target for Dak Prescott should be hyper-targeted in this matchup. There is no one on the Buccaneers defense that should be able to slow down Lamb and the Cowboys passing attack. Start Lamb with the expectation of big things in week 1. Now let's look at the Bengal Tiger Start of the week. Our Bengal Tiger Start of the week will be Courtland Sutton. Sutton will be on the road to take on the Seattle Seahawks, who gave up the 2nd most passing yards in 2021. With Russell Wilson wanting to strut his stuff to his old team, I'm looking for Sutton to have a monster of a game. The Seahawks couldn't stop a JV team, let alone the passing attack of the Broncos. You should sit back, relax, pop a bag of popcorn, and watch the fireworks fly.